All right. We have Miss Jean Hanks on the community conversation today. I'm so excited. This has been earmarked to get her on the community conversation. And I'm so excited for all you folks that are listening. This is going to be a good one. So Jean, thank you so much for being on today and welcome to the community conversation.
Thank you, Mike. I'm so happy to be here.
You're welcome. So like we were chatting about before, why don't you just kind of start things off with how did you walk us through your fitness journey, Jean? How did you find Prototype? What was that experience like? And how long have you been here for? I mean, I know, but I'd love for you to tell everyone else. So let's start there.
Well, my fitness journey started, believe it or not until 2001. After I had Lily. I didn't work out at all growing up. When I went in the Army, I did my basic training, and that was about as much fitness as I could handle at the time. So, but growing up, I was just, I just tall, thin, could eat whatever I want. Never even thought about fitness, nutrition, food just wasn't a thing for me. And so after I had Lily, I said, ooh, I think I've gained a few pounds. I think I'm getting older. I should start doing something. So I went to Jazzercise. And I went there with a couple of friends, and I did that for about 5 years. 2 different ones I went to, and it was fun, and it was musical, and it was social. But when you lifted up 5 pounds in each hand, you did that for 5 years. There was never, oh, you can do more than that. It was just 5 pounds for 5 years. And of course, 5 pounds in the beginning was, a little heavy. But so then I said, all right, I really want to do something different than this. It's not enough for me. So I went over to Boston Sports Club. The same thing happened there. I'd never used any of the equipment. All I did was classes. And then I said, oh, I need to do something different. So I tried to do a spin class, and that ended up in a bloody mess because my foot fell off the pedal and it kept going and it just ripped my leg. And I said, okay, well, spin's not for me. So I said, I got to find something different. And then Ann Andrews called me and said, Amy McDougall thinks we should try this new gym that just opened up. And I had been at BSC for like 3 years doing this mundane 5-pound thing also, and getting bored. And so I said, well, what is it? And she goes, I don't know, something called CrossFit. So we said, all right. So we put it on the calendar for one day. And then I wanted to look into it. I couldn't remember the name. So I called her back and said, what's it called again? I knew nothing about CrossFit. And so we came in and we did our free elements class. That was 9 years ago this month. And I was hooked. I actually, maybe not from day one, although I was intrigued from day one. But I went home, and the next day I was so sore, but I went back because I had to go back because I just wanted to see what this was all about, because I wasn't used to. I mean, even day one, I think I lifted more than 5 pounds, at least tried to. So, so that's where I've been since, as you know. And it's been a blast because, I mean, there's a lot that's happened in 9 years. I cannot believe it's been 9 years. It just blows my mind how fast it went. Because I remember after the first year, and I said, oh my, happy anniversary. We've been here for a whole year. And now it's 9, and next year it'll be a decade. It's just really important to me.
I love that. What you mentioned, there's a few things that I want to talk about, but you mentioned you were hooked in. So you did the first class, you were hooked in, you were so sore, but you had to come back and see what it was all about. What was the thing? I know you mentioned jazzercise classes at BSC. Thankfully you didn't hurt yourself too bad on that
Yeah,
spin bike injury. You think it's stationary bike, nothing bad's gonna happen. But
Yeah, no, nothing.
you never know. Your foot could slip out. But what was the hook? What hooked you in?
Um, I think it was the people. And it was different. I mean, day one, I was there with Anne. I met, I believe, Kathy Bridge and Campbell, maybe. But I met, and then there was Doran and all those, Heather, all those old. I mean, that was a good group of people. And I said, oh my gosh, this isn't just working out. Nobody cared about me before. They're making me like roll out. The heck is this? We just didn't get into the workout. We had to like roll out. Like this shit hurts and stretch and everything. And it was like, so it was just I mean, I had people that actually sat next to me, stood next to me, showed me what to do, told me what to do, actually acted like they cared about what I was doing. And then of course I understood why, later on. I mean, it's diverse and you have to pay attention to what you're doing or you could get hurt, especially, when you get older like me. And because I think I was 53 or 54 when I started CrossFit. So that's that's not a 20-year-old. So, but I just kept coming back because I kept getting stronger and I kept feeling better and I kept meeting awesome people and we kept doing things in the community. And I was like, this isn't really just like a gym. So kept coming back.
So many people say it's like, the workouts are good, but it's like the people that kind of like hooked you in, and you had like this great group. I remember these like 9 a.m. ladies. And I think that's, we always referred to as the 9 a.m. ladies. And it's a lot of chatter, a lot of chatter. If I remember correctly, I think you were the one that paid the most attention out of that group. But
I had to.
But you mentioned you started when you were like 53, 54, and okay, we've gone kind of 9 years on this journey. Like, what would you say to like folks that are 53, 54 in their 50s that might think, okay, this isn't for me, this is for someone that's 20 years old, I need to go do something else instead? Like, what would you say to those folks?
I would tell them that if they're really interested in doing something, that they should at least give it a try, because they're going to walk in and see that it is different, just like the young people walk in and see that it's different, and middle-aged people walk in and older people walk in. And I was there the other day and Kelly walked in and I was like, and my heart just like, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen her in so long and she's still here. So I would say, you can definitely do this. You can do it at your own pace. You don't have to be an Olympic weightlifter to go to CrossFit. You will go there, you'll meet good people, you'll belong to the community, you will have fun, and you will get strong inside, outside, and you will love it. Because that's what most people, I've never really heard anybody walk out the door and, I've heard people say this isn't for me, but I have never heard anyone say, oh God, I hate that. That's awful. Never.
I agree with you. Well, it all depends on the experience, but that's like a big focus of ours, trying to create those relationships and the experience and that sort of thing. So I'm so glad you're like the poster child. I'm gonna call you a child, the poster child.
Okay, please do.
For Prototype. And you've made so many relationships over those like 9 years, and you're drinking out of your Prototype mug right now. Shout out!
My
you only
favorite.
get one of those if you've done over 1,000 workouts at
right.
Prototype. So Jean's like one of 30, I think it's like 31 or 32 people, which is pretty impressive, in that top 5+%. So
well, I'd love to know how many classes I did before Waterfy.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't get Waterfy until 2013. So if you're in 2012, so you probably went a whole year. So it's got to be a little bit more than that, right?
Yeah,
at
definitely.
least. And then all the times you didn't sign in too. All the times you didn't sign in, just saying.
I know.
Just saying.
Yeah, but I'm good at it now.
You're good at it now. It's all good. So 9 years has been a long time. Let's talk about some of your favorite memories. And I know you got a lot of good memories and a lot of special things that have kind of like happened over those years. But I know there's also some like you kind of went through some personal struggles like as well. I don't know if you'd like to talk about that, but I know that, because I was there, the community certainly rallied around you. And I
Yeah,
definitely
they
remember.
definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was I had a couple things. First, I tore my ACL. And that was a devastating blow right there because um obviously that's a good 8-9 month recovery
Mm-hmm.
before you can really, you know, do what you want to do. But luckily for me, I was strong. I had been doing CrossFit and I had Jesse Dimmick on my side. So,
Was
I
that
mean,
skiing? Was that skiing? I'm trying to
yes, that
remember.
was dumb skiing, which I don't
Skiing,
do
that's right.
anymore. I've done it twice now, right ACL and left ACL
Mm,
and both meniscus. So I'm
mm.
done skiing. I'm just snowshoeing now. But Jesse was so good. He had me back there so fast. And I remember he let me, I was so devastated. But he would come in. I don't know if you remember, he would come in every Friday to the gym because I was doing PT 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a long time. And he would let me come in on Friday and do my PT there so I could see everybody. And it was great. It wasn't a normal setback,
Mhm,
you know, because I was still involved.
mhm,
So then, and that was in 2013.
mhm.
And
Yeah, I
then
mean, it
I
wasn't
just,
that long after you were there. You were only there for like a year and change before that.
yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. But I was getting so strong then. I remember, I don't know when it was, but I know it was before. We'll talk about the 2014 journey, but before that, I remember I did a 235-pound deadlift and I said, oh my God, I'm so strong. you know, it was all those milestones, they're just so exciting. It's like, who would ever think this old lady could come in here and lift 235 pounds? But I did, and it was very exciting. So fast forward, here I am doing my thing. And then in October, well, the end of September of 2014, that's when I got the news that I had cancer. And that, that was devastating because I mean, the minute you hear that word, it's just such an ugly word. It's just, you hear that word and you don't know if your life's over or not. The minute you hear it, it just shatters you because you don't know.
mhm.
So I was like, I remember the next day I went into my doctor with Brian and um my blood pressure was like 198 over whatever. It was
Mhm,
really high. And
mhm,
so it didn't take long. I mean, they know this stuff. They know that they have to do something for you. So, they gave me some meds but as soon as you have a plan in place, like when you first find out, you don't know if you are going to do radiation and that's enough, or if you're going to do chemo, radiation, surgery, what's going to happen.
yeah.
You don't even know what kind of cancer you have at that time, and so long story short, um, I did have an invasive, aggressive type of cancer and breast cancer, and it was going to require chemo, radiation, surgery, and more chemo. And so I just said, okay, you know what? I looked up there and I said, look, I have a lot of females in my family. I'll take one for the team, but don't let anyone else get it. And so far, so good. So I took one for the team and I just handled it. It was, once you have a plan, so much better, because then at least I knew that there was a chance I wasn't going to die. And obviously I didn't, and I'm still good. So, but as far as cancer and fitness, I said, I would take my mother to bingo every week. I volunteered at the senior center for lunch every Tuesday. I had to give up because of my immune system. I had to give up. I said, I will give up bingo and I will give up the senior center, but I'm not giving up CrossFit. So that's the one thing that I was able to, I don't know how well I did it, but I went in most days. Even the day after chemo was one of my best days. So I would even go in that day. But I remember sending out a message to everyone and just telling them, this is my strong place. You need to let me be strong. I'm an easy crier. I don't want to cry when I'm at CrossFit because it'll just interfere with what I'm trying to do. So just treat me like you always have. And then we'll all get through this. And oh my gosh, I had people. I mean, I went from people making me hats, and because it was wintertime. And of course, I lost all my hair. But I wasn't a real wig person. So I just walked around bald. I didn't really care. It was kind of it's kind of nice actually, because I remember, and be careful what you wish for. I remember saying to Brian all these years, I said, God, I wish I was bald. I just wish that I could get out of the shower and not have to deal with anything like you do. So
you're envious of Brian?
I was. But then we were equal. Actually, I had less hair than him.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I came to CrossFit as often as I could. And people were very, very respectful of my wishes. I remember being on a rower, you and Jesse standing next to me saying, faster, harder, push harder. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm swearing at you guys. And but I couldn't do it out loud because I said, I told them to treat me the same, but I felt like I was going to puke. And I was like, oh my God, tell them to shut up. Just, but I didn't. I made it through that. I never threw up.
Was that like the open workout? Was that an open workout?
I don't know if it was an open workout, but it was because I remember I tried to do the open. I tried to do everything I could. And
you did do everything. You did
and
more.
then we had the and then I decided that okay, I'm good with this. I'm just gonna roll with it. And decided to have a head shaving party. As you know, you were there getting your head shaved, and it was a very emotional day for me, but it was a good day because there was so much love around me and people getting their head shaved. And John putting my wig on. It was just a fun day. It was really fun.
I remember that picture of you and all the ladies with the wigs on.
Yeah, well, that was
not the head shaving party. That was a different thing, wasn't it?
No, that was the annual party, Yankee swap party that we had at Christmas.
That's right. That was
it started. Yes, yeah, I think it started at Amy's house. That was at Amy's house. So I decided that that I would wear a wig because I wasn't, I wasn't really wearing wigs because they're itchy. It's like it's like Halloween. It's like putting a wig on. They're itchy and they don't feel good. But I decided it's Christmas. We're dressing up a little. I'll wear a wig. Well, they all had decided that they were going to go bald. So they had those bald caps.
That's right.
And I walked in last and they're all bald and I have hair. And it was just so funny. It was so funny.
And that wasn't planned.
And that wasn't planned. And then, no, that wasn't planned at all. I had no idea. And then there was a party for me at a luncheon at Arturo's, and Heather Burke came in. She had made from Yummy Mummy this big, oh my God, it was a big boob cake. And it was just great. People were so wonderful, and that helped me make it through that journey. And I don't think I would have done as well with my recovery if it wasn't for CrossFit, because I was strong before I went in. I don't know if I was stronger after, well, I wasn't physically stronger after I was done with all everything, but um, certainly glad I was able to have that part of my journey, because I don't know what I would have done without it. So I would have to say that with something like that, if I could just go around and talk to all these chemo patients that just think that you have to lay on the couch all day long to get better, and you have to rest. I mean, yeah, sometimes you do have to rest when your body tells you to, but you know, you go to CrossFit for an hour, you can do this. And I just think that there's a lot of education that could be out there for people who, for fitness and illness. And
There's probably a small group of people that are listening to this right now that may have gone through that or know someone that has gone through that. And I would say that the majority of people aren't doing, I agree with you, probably aren't doing CrossFit while they're in treatment. I know a few people that have done that. You being one of them, but very, very few. So it just speaks to the level of, I think, commitment that you have just in general, like the mentality of like, this is better, it's going to be good for me, but also this is going to make me stronger. And this is just not something that's going to just, what I've gotten from this and what I love about this so much is that you made a decision that I'm okay, here are things I'm going to give up, but I'm not giving this up, because you're not going to let that dictate your life.
right.
And I think that's really powerful. I think, I can't speak from experience, but I think, you know, sometimes we let things in life dictate our life, and you made a decision
I did.
not many people would make. And I think that that's very, it's incredible. And
Thank
I'm very,
you.
very proud of you. And I know it's like an emotional thing to talk about, but I appreciate you sharing, because I don't know if everyone who's listening actually knows that story. They just see Jean, the smiling face on the virtual camera now.
I
She's
know.
moved so
I
far
know.
away from us.
I know, but they're working on the basement, so I have to come in more because I can't work out down there because all my stuff is shoved away in a corner. But when it's done, our little gym area is going to be really cool.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I want to just pivot a little bit and talk a little about your family, specifically your daughter, Lily. I feel like she started doing CrossFit. I know she's not here, she's at school, but she started doing CrossFit in our kids' classes, and then started doing the adult classes. Now this is like your thing, you guys do together. What's that kind of been like, just kind of having that like connection, having that thing to be able to do with your daughter?
Oh, that's been wonderful. Because Lily was or is not an athlete. She never was. She didn't want to be involved in. She did soccer, but she had that growth plate issue. And so she was always doing kind of like physical therapy while she was doing CrossFit. But yeah, she started when she was 12, and she got strong pretty quickly, and she's able to do a whole lot, and it built her confidence. She wasn't a very confident child. I don't really know why, but a lot of kids aren't. And CrossFit was just amazing for her because she started doing things that she could never think she could do. And I'll never forget that she came home and she said, I have to write a paper on someone who inspires me. And I said, oh, did you choose someone yet? She goes, yeah, I'm going to do it on John. And she did. She wrote her paper on John because he inspired her.
I remember that. That was a while. That would have been what?
I think she was 13 and she's 21.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. And that's she's awesome. Graduating in December. Fast, huh?
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
Really fast. It does. Flies. It flies.
Yep. Oh my gosh. That is it's absolutely insane.
But to work out, I mean, even Brian, when he was in and out of, his little surgeries there from, I think he did elements like 3 times. Nothing
wrong with that.
I know. But but he still works out here and does his thing. But for the three of us to do that, I mean, at first I was a little bit like, all right, this is my thing and I love it. What do you mean you want to join CrossFit? This is my thing. This was Lily. And I was like, oh, all right, you can come. And then Brian's like, but so I started in September, and then Lily started in November, and then Brian started in January. And then it became a family thing, which was perfectly fine. They worked out mostly at night together and I worked out in the morning. So so it was a very fun family thing.
That's awesome.
That was our entertainment budget, as well as our fitness and everything else.
There's a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun. Go in there at any time of the day, you're going to get entertained at some capacity.
No doubt.
Someone.
Oh yeah.
I love the conversation we've been having about these, like, you know, special moments, things that kind of stick out to you. You mentioned a couple. Any other things that kind of stick out to you over the years, Jean? I know there's a lot to unpack over 9 years.
Yeah, there's a lot. The most recent one was when Kathy and I just got on the podium just a few months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that freaked us out. That was just awesome because we just figured we're done. I mean, look what she's going through. And, you know, I'm older. I don't know how that happened. I just don't know how it happened. And that is so exciting. And, you know, the same thing that happened when Kathy and I have we've won a couple things together, as well as Jay and I. And I mean, but just those, I love all those competitions because it is a competition. There's no doubt about that. But it's a fun competition and there's so much adrenaline in the gym when that's happening. It's just infectious and everyone's smiling, even though it's grueling. Everyone's smiling. And it's just so much fun. And then, you know, even I look forward to Earth Day when Peg and Todd set up, you know, and we just meet and go. It just feels good. Everything we do there feels good. What are we going to do that's not going to feel good, Mike?
Hopefully nothing.
Okay.
Speaking of events, we do have that Row for Crows event coming up. Are you going to be doing that?
I am not. I am not, unfortunately.
No.
I know.
There has to be a pretty good excuse here. Let me hear it.
All right. I'm going to be on a boat sailing.
Okay, that's the excuse. I knew if you're not doing it, then you're not on this continent. So now that makes sense.
I'm on the continent, but I am, we didn't get to go last year with our friends, and he you know, Ann Andrew's husband, they have their boat and they just moved to Marion. And so we're going to do the weekend thing.
Enjoy it. Jean, we've talked about so many awesome things, and I really appreciate you sharing your journey and sharing these moments and experiences and the vulnerability, and that's really special. So I want to get into the Spitfire round of questions for you. All right. So I know you've been preparing and listening to all of these community conversations over the past few weeks and kind of curating your answers. So I'm not going to change the questions. Okay. I'm not going to make the excuse of is change. Okay. I'm not going to change the question. So favorite movie and TV show of all time. And then what are you currently binge watching? That's number one. Okay.
So my favorite movie of all time is, first of all, I'm not a movie person. I don't watch a lot of movies. Never have. But my favorite one is The Wizard of Oz. Always will be, always has been.
It's a classic.
It's just a classic. And I love it. And I remember growing up, we used to we'd get a bath and we'd get our pajamas on because it came on once a year. And my mother would make popcorn and all the four of us kids would sit in the parlor. We called it back then, the parlor. And we even got tonic, which now we call soda. Yeah. And it was just fun. And so that's it. It's not just a classic movie. It's a good memory for me too.
How about TV show?
TV show. Well, I have two. One of them, most people aren't going to know because I was born in the 50s. it's probably one of the longest running shows, but Gunsmoke, I still watch
Gunsmoke?
it. I
Okay.
still watch it. Do you know it?
Nope. But it's okay. I'll look it up after this. Gunsmoke.
James Arness. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Gunsmoke. But there was a show on with Kiefer Sutherland, 24.
Yeah, 24. That's a great show.
That was one of my favorite shows of all time.
It's such a great show.
What was the third
part?
part?
You believe he
Oh,
did all
binge
that?
watch.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you believe he did all that in 24 hours? Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a little hard to believe, but
Quite the day.
he did, because he had the same clothes on.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I always wonder in those shows, when do they eat? When do they go to the bathroom? You know what I mean? Like, those are the things I always think about. It's like, how do you just keep going? I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, they don't.
I digress.
So,
binge
watching. Well,
Yeah.
I've never binge watched anything until COVID. And now this is what we do, and it's fun. I love it. Right now we're binge watching Virgin River.
Virgin River. Okay. I haven't seen that yet. Is that on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. I might have to check that out.
Yeah.
Aaron and I are watching Yellowstone right now, which is pretty crazy.
Oh,
show.
I heard that's good. That's
I would
on our
recommend it.
list.
I would recommend it. It's after you finish Virgin River, check out Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
With, Kevin Costner. It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Next question is the music category. Favorite musician or band of all time. And if you only listen to one song the rest of your life, what would it be? It doesn't have to be by that band or musician.
My favorite band is Imagine Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had several over the years because, I've gone through so many different periods of music and people, and, a lot of them are dead now, but.
Oh, you're going to say Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, no, I have to leave that for Anne. That's her favorite.
That's hers. Yeah.
Yeah. But we did go to the concerts with her.
Yeah.
But no, he's too much of a pothead for me. I mean, you could tell on stage. I mean, sometimes couldn't even communicate with the audience.
Yeah,
So funny.
He can sing in vowels sometimes, like Eddie Vedder. I put him up there.
He can still sing no matter what
yeah.
condition he's in. He can sing.
Uh-huh.
But so no, I love Imagine Dragons. I've seen them 4 times. They just put out a new album today, and I can't wait to hear it.
There we go.
Yep.
I like that. I didn't know that.
I think my favorite song of all time, and the reason I love it so much, is because it has been sung by so many different people, so many different genres, and it's called Hallelujah, and I'm sure you know it.
Mm-hmm.
A million people sing it, and every time someone sings it, it's beautiful.
I think Justin Timberlake did a version of that, right?
I'm sure everybody has.
I think so. I think that's one of my favorite.
Pentatonics does a great version of that.
Pentatonics is that's a cool, that's like the what's it called? The acapella? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Acapella group.
Acapella group. Oh, they're awesome.
They're very talented.
Very talented.
Last question. What is your favorite hobby? Non-gym related. What's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing is to make greeting cards. Still, it's my.
And you make good greeting cards.
Thank you. It's fun. I've been doing that since 2002.
Mm-hmm. How long does it take you to make these things? Because they're like amazing pieces of art.
Well,
you sold in stores.
Well, I tried.
Put Hallmark out of business.
I tried to sell them in stores, but nobody wants to pay me. They want me to sell them for $4, and they want to take $2. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather just have the inventory so that anytime. And I have hundreds of cards in inventory, but it's therapy for me, and sometimes it takes. You have to be in the zone to do it, but. No pun intended, but I always have to make a prototype. And sometimes that could take 2 or 3 hours if I'm watching TV or listening to music while I'm doing it or whatever. It could take an hour. And then once I get that done, then I can just whip through a whole bunch of them. Because I have lots of, I don't just sit there and draw or anything. I have lots of machines that cut out things for me and stuff like that. I do have to do some fussy cutting with scissors, and I do have to do some coloring and stuff like that, but it's just fun. It's just fun. I really love doing it.
If I was
And
to
I
bet,
love when people get them,
yeah.
but the thought of them throwing them in the trash, I haven't got over that one yet. And
don't
I know
think-
they do,
I
because
don't think-
people throw cards away.
I mean, I could find one of your cards somewhere around here. I don't think I've ever thrown away one of your cards. I feel like it's like sacrilegious to throw it away.
Yeah. Thank you.
Seriously, I'm not even joking. They're around here somewhere. I don't know where Aaron keeps. Aaron moves stuff. You know, I don't know where things go.
But the joke is that, you know, if I make a little mistake or something on one, and they're handmade, and a lot of the mistakes, no one would even be able to pick it out, but I would. And I always just say, I'll just give that to someone I don't like.
All right. Well, I'm checking my cards that I find for mistakes on there, just so I know how you really feel about me there, Jean.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Jean, I appreciate you so much for being on the community conversation today. It means so much to me. It means so much to everyone listening. And then everyone that is listening right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, every Monday we have a new community conversation to get your week started. So tune in and check it out. And again, Jean, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Anytime.
I feel
Jean.
like a celebrity.
You are.